Good morning, it's November 30th, and this is To My Liberal Friends. There's a saying in the sales industry that goes something like this. Once you know you've made the sale, quit talking. You can only talk yourself right out of the sale. And it's pretty good advice, but unfortunately, many of us do not know how to stop talking when continued talking only hurts our efforts. And this could be said about Donald Trump in spades. He just does not know how to shut up and take a win. By every poll out there today, he's taking a small lead over Joe Biden, and in the 6 key swing states that lead spells victory in the Electoral College. But Trump has refused to debate his fellow candidates for the Republican nomination because he has such a big lead. You would think he would take that advice and avoid topics that can only hurt him against Joe Biden, but that would not be the Trump style. He has to be on the attack each and every day. Using his true social media platform, Trump keeps making announcements about how he will change policy on several key issues. One is health care, but being Trump, he just says something without the substance behind it. He took many Republicans, particularly those in the Senate, by surprise this past weekend when he declared that if he is returned to the White House, he would make another attempt to repeal the Affordable Care Act, better known as Obamacare. Now, Republicans tried this maneuver before and failed to get the necessary votes, the final try coming down to John McCain breaking his promise to vote for repeals and ceremoniously entering the Senate floor and turning his thumb down. Before you overturn a major part of this nation's current health policy, you should have an alternative plan in place. Trump does not have a replacement plan, just an announcement that he would try to repeal the current plan. Well, Senate Republican Whip John Thune admitted he doesn't know what Trump's talking about. He said, I'm for lowering costs to make our healthcare system more efficient, but I'm not sure I'd want to come to know what the proposal is. And he said, let's see some flesh. Senator Bill Cassidy, the ranking Republican on the Senate Health Committee, was similarly in the dark. He said it's a narrowly divided Congress. It's unlikely to happen. And he's discussing what would happen if they tried to push to repeal the Affordable Care Act. Senator John Cornyn, a member of the Senate GOP leadership team, said there's no consensus within his own party on how to replace former President Obama's landmark law. Senator Sue Collins from Maine, who was one of the 3 GOP senators voted to defeat the repeal effort in 2017, she said she would not support repealing protection for people with pre-existing conditions, a key reform of Obamacare. She also said one of the provisions of the Affordable Care Act that I've always strongly supported was the requirement that people with pre-existing conditions be covered. So I would not be for repealing that provision. Now, she also acknowledged that premiums have been very high under the Affordable Care Act. What Republicans should be focusing on is the very issue brought up by Senator Collins, the high cost of premiums. Now, there are ways to address these costs and reduce them, but just saying you're going to repeal the entire system only serves to energize an otherwise lethargic Biden campaign. It gives Biden another issue to fire up his base. But Trump, being Trump, he didn't stop there. He also said he would try to end the ability of children born in the United States gaining citizenship if the parents are here illegally. Now, I'm assuming that Trump has not read the 14th Amendment, nor has he read the Supreme Court case of the United States versus Wong Kim Ark. If he wants to change that, he would have to get a constitutional amendment passed. He then said he would deputize the National Guard and begin mass deportations. Well, the Republicans have been making strong inroads in the Hispanic community, but Trump could destroy that progress with his rash comments without any legal backing. He says these things to rile up his base, but in the same breath, he causes major problems for other Republican candidates for the Senate and House. Senator Tom Tillis, who's trying to negotiate a deal with Democrats to stop the flood of migrants across the U.S.-Mexico border, said while Trump's rhetoric on immigration may play well with the GOP base, it's likely to be a liability with moderate and independent voters in the general election. What Donald Trump has not learned, even when he was president, is that the president has a lot of power, but he's not the only game in town. He has to garner support in Congress, and absent that support, he's just talking off the top of his head, something Trump's famous for doing. Trump keeps urging Republicans in the House to impeach Joe Biden. You would think he had a good understanding of this because he was impeached twice, and both times the effort failed in the Senate, which is exactly what would happen again. The bottom line is Trump says a lot of things, but in my opinion, intellectually lacks the knowledge to actually flesh out real legislative proposals that could pass. On health care, he never put forward even an outline of a bill to address health care. Just saying you're going to repeal the current law without a fully addressed replacement does not cut it. So I say to Trump, When you made the sale, stop talking. You can only lose the sale and the presidency by your continued rants. It's been To My Liberal Friends. Thanks for listening.